Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for my sew along on my YouTube channel. Now, I've been wanting to sew a cardigan because we are having such strange weather in South Africa. And I thought, well, while I'm sewing, why don't we all sew together? It's just going to be so much more fun if you are joining in with me. We're all sewing the same pattern and we can go and share our photos afterwards of what we've done. So let's talk about the pattern that we're going to use for the sew along. I decided to do the Harper cardigan from Sinclair Patterns. Now, this is a free downloadable pattern. It's a digital pattern. So no matter where you are, we are all going to be working on the same pattern. And the other thing that I do like about this pattern as well is the sizing range that it has. And one of the things that I want you to go and have a look at when you're going to download the tutorial is that they've got sizing for petite, for regular, and for tall. Meaning if you are a short person, you will just go choose the petite. If you are a tall person, you've obviously got the choice of the tall and then our regular height as well. All that information on how you're going to choose that is in your tutorial that you are going to be downloading when you're downloading your pattern. The next thing of this pattern that we're going to look at is that we are working with a stretch fabric. Now, stretch fabrics for me is always something that I go to with my overlock, or I go to my overlocker. So again, I will be sharing a lot of tips and techniques while we are sewing the garment on the overlocker. If you don't have an overlocker, don't worry about it. I will be telling you what stitch to use, what stitch length you're going to use, and what you've got to look for as well when you're working on your sewing machine. And then I think one thing that really drew me also to this pattern, that it is also going to work for our beginners. I've been getting a lot of emails from new dressmakers saying, please do a little bit more basics with us. So with this one, I will really be touching on sewing with our stretch fabrics, my techniques that I do when I finish my stretch fabrics as well. So if you're a beginner, you know what, you are welcome to join us for this. You will be learning quite a lot if you are going to be working with your stretch fabric. Now let's look at how the sew along is going to work. I'm going to be doing, as I said in today's video, only the basics. I'm going to take you through how to download the pattern. I'm going to take you through how to go save it. I want you to open the pattern in Adobe as well, because she does have layers on the pattern, so we can only go and select our size, so we don't have all these different size lines that's going to be confusing to us as well. So that is one thing also that I am going to take you through, and then I'm going to talk to you how to print correctly if we are working with downloadable patterns. Now that is really, I'm covering this section because it's really for our beginners that's never worked with a digital pattern before or a downloadable pattern, as I feel it's very important to do this correctly, otherwise you are not going to print the sizing correctly. There's a little bit of a setting that you've got to do on your printer, that pop up for the printer. So I will be taking you through that. If you are someone that's already worked with your digital patterns, then you can just actually skip the rest of this video, because you can go and print your pattern already and go and tape it together. Now I have added a link for you at the bottom of this video in my information box. So all you have to do is go and click on that link. It's going to take you to the Sinclair webpage, and it's going to take you specifically to the Harper cardigan pattern as well. And then I am going to be sharing my screen as I'm busy downloading mine and as I'm saving it as well. So please make sure that if you're a beginner, and I'm repeating this, if you're a beginner, please follow the steps, because you need to get this accurate to be able to print an accurate sizing for your pattern. Guys, I almost forgot to tell you the rest of the plan. So for Saturday, I'm going to be loading the cutting out of the fabric, so the layout of the fabric, the cutting out of the fabric as well, because I want you to also make sure that your placement of your patterns are accurate, and that you're also working with the maximum stretch that is running horizontally around the body. So just look out for Saturday afternoon. There'll be a video for you to go and watch on the cutting out. And then next Tuesday, I want us to actually start with the sew along. It might be a longer video, but I'm going to try and let us do it all in one video, so that it's not dragging over weeks. I don't want us to take forever to get our cardigan, so we actually need our cardigan now with this weather that we're having. I know some of you are new to digital patterns, so I decided to just take you step by step through downloading the pattern and printing your pattern as well. Now, if we look at the Harper pattern, If you don't have it open yet, go look in my information box below the video. I've put a link there for the Harper cardigan. Now we've got the different options. So if we look at the Harper, we've got the shorter version, we've got the longer version. So you're going to decide what version you want to do. And then we are also going to see that it is a free pattern for us. So all I need you to do is to go and click on it. But before you click on it, make sure it is the PDF and it is 0. You don't want to pay for it. So go add to cart. And it says I've just added this product to the cart. So I'm going to go to my cart page. If that disappears, all you have to do is scroll to the top. There's your basket and just click on your basket. And I'm going to say checkout. Now it's showing me the summary of my order, and you can see it is 0. Now we can see this is the summary of my order. I don't owe anything. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to go down to the bottom, just scroll down and go and have a look. Now I'm already logged in, so it's got all my information. So I'm just going to say continue to payment. Now if you haven't got that page, it's going to ask you to register. So all you have to do is just go and register and add the information that it's asking for. Just follow the prompts that it's going to give you. And all you go again is go right to the bottom, and I'm just going to say complete order. Right, and now I have my order. And now if you scroll down, it's going to say download my patterns. And I'm just going to click on download my patterns. Now here's all my order information. So if you just scroll down, you can see all your download links that you have. Now you've got a download for the tutorial. Please go download this as well. You need to look at the sizing inside to determine what size you're going to be doing. And then if we look at the pattern files, we've got the US letter, we've got A4 files, the AO or copy shop. Now I'm going to just download the A4 files. We print in South Africa with A4 paper. If you are wanting to go to a copy shop, and that is shops like your Minuteman or Jiffy Print, you can take this folder to them and they will print it for you. But you've got to be careful when they're printing it. They've got to print it actual size so that the pattern size is correct. Projector files I'm not going to touch on now. So I'm just going to go and download the A4 files. And once it downloads it, and I'm really taking you step by step because I know we've got some new customers that's never worked with digital patterns before. Once I've downloaded, you will see that my file is sitting here right at the bottom. So you're going to click on the folder for me so that we can go to the next step. Once you've clicked on the file and you've opened it, you will see that you've got your pattern pieces. They are all A4 pages, and you will see that you've got all your sizing on there as well. On the side, you will also notice that you have all these pages that you are going to print. So there is altogether, if we look here, 44 pages. Now I want you to go and save this file. We are not going to print from this page. If you print from this page, you are printing all of these lines, all of the sizes, and we don't want that. And you also want it for future use as well. So what you are going to do for me, on the right of your screen, you can see that download arrow. So I want you to go click on that arrow, and it's going to then open up this tab for you so that you can go and save it. So if you're going to save it on desktop, just go and make sure that you choose desktop, and then you can go save it there. You can shorten the name and just say Harper Knit Cardigan. But I've already saved mine, so I'm not going to go through that step, but you are going to go through the steps for me and you are going to save it. Now, when you're going to be opening the file, I want you to open it in Adobe Acrobat Reader. Now, that is a free app that you can download on your computer if you don't have it yet. But because Sinclair Patterns works with layers, meaning I can choose the size that I want to print, you are going to need to do it in the Adobe. If you just open the folder as it or the file as it is, you're not going to get the option to choose the layers. And then if you've got your Adobe open, you're just going to go to File, you're going to say Open, and wherever you've got your pattern saved, you're just going to open that file for us. Now, I've already done mine. Now, first off, if you are going to print the pattern at home, you need to go and print page 1. On page 1, you can see it's giving us this little bit of a measurement gauge, and you've got to print it, and you've got to make sure that you have exactly that measurement correct. So if I'm going to put my ruler or my measuring tape there, if I measure up to there, it should be 10 centimeters. If I measure to there, it should be 10 centimeters. Then I know that the sizing for my pattern is correct. If it is slightly off, you're going to go back to your print options and you're going to correct it. I will take you through how to do that just in a moment. But what I want you to look at is here on the side. I want you to go click on the layers. It says layers, view layers, and show or hide their content. So I've just opened that. And I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Can you see all my sizing? They've got all the sizing together on one pattern. I know I only want to do my medium size. So all the other sizes where you see that little eye icon, you are just going to close the little eye for me. Now I am wanting the medium. I want the medium size 10, so I'm going to take out the size 8, and I'm just closing the rest of these patterns. Can you see, if you're looking at my pattern here, look how we are moving or closing all the other lines by just clicking on this icon. Now I'm sitting with only one line, and that is my pattern size that I want. So when we start working with the pages and we're going to glue the pages or use sticky tape to put them together, I've only got one line that I've got to worry about. Now once that is done, once you've closed all the other sizes, you can go to File and look for Print, or you can just go onto this area and click on your print icon. Now what I need you to do is you are going to make sure, if we are looking at page sizing and handling, I want you to go and make sure that actual size is selected. We don't want fit to page. I don't want shrink oversized pages, because as soon as I fit or I shrink, I'm actually changing the sizing that it's going to print for me, and I am not going to have an accurate gauge if I'm going to print page 1 only. So please make sure it says actual size. If you don't have actual size showing on your screen, you're going to go to custom scale and you're going to make sure it says 100%. I'm just going to click on actual size, and then I'm just going to go and I'm going to say just print page 1 for now, and you are going to print page 1 and you are going to measure that for me. Once you are happy that the measurement is correct, you can go back again and say, you know what, I really don't want to go and print all pages. So again, I will say page 2 to 44. I've already got my page 1 which was correct, but obviously if it's not correct, make sure you do reprint it. And now you can just go and click on print. I've gone ahead and I've printed my pages now. Now I've asked you to first print page 1 so that you can go ahead and you can go and check if the measurement gauge that we have there is the same as your measurement on your ruler or your measuring tape. So if I go and have a look at mine, and I'm just going to put it that side as well, I'm actually happy because, let's just get it on that edge. If I look at that, I've got my measurement correct. If I go and put it on there, let's show you again, I am 10 centimeters over there. The next thing that you're also going to notice for me is you've got this block on your pages, and it's numbered 1 to 11, and then it goes 12 to 20. Now that is the order in what you are going to put the pages together, meaning page 1, which is this one, page 2, which was this one, we're running it in a horizontal line, and then only once I get to 12, then we start with another row that we're going to put together, and each block you will see will have it slightly darker to tell you that is page 3. So that is what we're looking at. Now I'm only going to stick a couple of pages together just to show you what you're going to do. Now we've got certain markers. If we look at these markers we have on the paper, and that is telling us where we've got to line it up. Now what you're going to do, the one page I'm always going to leave as it is. The other page that I'm going to stick to it, I will go and cut it on that stipple line, and then I can put those pages together. I just find that if I cut the one section off, it is easier for me to see what I'm doing. So I've got a rotary cutter that I use specifically for my digital patterns. I only use it for my paper. So I'm going to just take my ruler and I'm going to cut off on that stipple line. If you don't have a rotary cutter, you can go and use your paper scissors to do these steps. There we go. So that has been cut off, and all I have to do now is I'm going to match these lines. So I'm going to put the dots. You can see I'm just moving them so everything is lining up, and that one is not lining up perfectly there. Let's just go there. I'm making sure everything is going to line up. There we go. And I'm also definitely going to be looking at my pattern lines over there. I'm going to use my sellotape. You can always go and use your glue stick if you want to. I just find it becomes a little bit messy after a while if I use my glue stick. Now, let's go to the next page. So if I take my next page, that is going to be page number 3 if I look at it on my block over there. So let me go again, and I'm just going to remove this section and we can go and put it on. So let's take that. And I'm going to go again, and I'm going to make sure that all my lines will be matching. So I'm looking at this bottom line, I'm matching it up. I'm making sure where my dots are, they're matching. I'm making sure where my pattern lines are running. Can you see everything is matching up? That one can just scoot a little bit over there. And again, I'm just going to stick them down. So that is what you are going to go through and do for me now. If you come to your next row, and I'm just going to imagine that this is the next row. Let's see, the next row would be page 12. And I'm just going to grab my page 12 so I can show you. Now, if I'm coming to the second row that I have to do, I'm going to now start cutting off the top. And if you look at this, and I'm just going to do it on this specific one to show you, I'm going to cut off on the top there. Again, I don't leave these sections on. I just find for me it's in the way if I'm trying to line up perfectly. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to put that together again, and I'm going to make sure when I've got it together that my pattern lines are matching. And let's just make sure everything is correct. There we go. All right, so I'm going to do that. So when you come to your page 13 now, and I'm just going to grab 13, all you're going to do for me, you are going to cut on the top, and you're going to cut the left side for me. And then once I've cut those, I can match it up on that area, and I can match it up on the side as well. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to tape your pattern pieces together. One thing that I also do, and I just wanted to mention it, sometimes it feels like the pattern starts going skew because we've got 11 pages going horizontal, and then we start building the rows down vertically. And what I find is as soon as I can see I've got one pattern piece already created, when I do my next row, I will start actually just maybe cutting that pattern piece off, and then I will just carry on putting the pieces together. That works for me. Some people will go and do the whole all these pages, all 44, they'll do together before they start cutting the paper. But I am really someone, if I can see, okay, the whole front has been glued together or taped together, I'll go just cut my front off. And then I know that when I'm working, for me, it just feels as if I'm not, it just feels more accurate. It feels like my paper isn't going that skew. So please go ahead, go do all of this for me, and then you are going to go and cut out your pattern pieces so that Saturday when we start talking about cutting out the fabric, all your pattern pieces are sorted out. This pattern is asking us to work with a stretch fabric of 50%. Now, I just wanted to show you some fabric that I do have, and I wanted to show you how you're going to determine the stretch ratio so that you know you're using the correct stretch. If you've got one that is going to be more than 50% or less than 50%, you will have to maybe look at adapting a little bit, maybe going one size up or one size down. So let's say you have 75% stretch, you will want to size down one size. If you've got less than 50%, let's say you've got a fabric you want to use that's a 30% stretch, then you can size up again. If you don't size up, that garment that you're making with the wrong stretch ratio is going to be feeling very snug on your body. So just be aware of that. Now, how do we determine our stretch ratio? We're going to take a piece of our fabric, and I'm going to get my maximum stretch. They specifically say use horizontal stretch. But what I've got here, if you look at my pattern piece, this is my selvage, and my stretch is actually going, if I must look at the fabric, it's going with the selvage. So mine is stretching lengthwise. It's really not having a lot of stretch if I'm looking at it horizontally. So I'm going to maybe, if I'm going to use this also with these lines going downwards, I prefer to have the lines running down my body instead of across my body. So I'm going to look at my stretch where I've got my maximum stretch. The only thing you're going to do, you don't ever do it on the edge. You go in a little bit, you pick it up, and don't do it on that edge either. You pick it up. I'm going to take my 10 centimeters and I'm going to stretch it. And this one is stretching from 10 centimeters all the way to 15 centimeters. My blocks, each solid block you're seeing is 5 centimeters. So I'm going to just double check again and show you. So leave it relaxed as it is. I'm putting it on the 0, I'm putting my finger on the 10, and I'm going to 15. So that for me feels like a comfortable stretch. I don't want to go distorted, but that's going to give me enough movement. So this fabric will be correct. It is a 50% stretch, and I know that I can use my size medium that I've printed. Now, but you've got to also make sure on your side that you are printing the right size so that you do accommodate the stretch of your fabric. I know some of you said you're going to use your stash. Now again, I'm taking 10 centimeters and I'm stretching it. This one, if I start going to 15, can you see how it starts distorting my pattern? Let's take this little star. Look at this. Can you see how it starts distorting that star? I don't want that. I want a comfortable stretch, and I feel a comfortable stretch of this one. If I go to about 12 centimeters, that means it gives me a 20% stretch. I can't go forward because then I'm going to walk with a cardigan with the stars that's being distorted on some areas. So this one is definitely for me really, I can say, let's go 25%. This is going to be not really for this garment because with this one I will have to size up, and I really don't want to size up. I want to work with my 50% stretch. So I'm going to use this maybe for another pattern that I want to work with. But this is really important. Please don't skip this section because you are going to have a problem. If you've got too much stretch, the garment is going to feel too big. If you've got too little stretch, it's going to feel too snug on your body. So please be sure to do your stretch ratio test. Well, that is all you had to do to get your pattern ready. It is really not so complicated once you know what you've got to do. So I've only done my couple of pages just to show you how to tape them together. You are now going to take the time, I think, put some music on, go and get yourself a coffee. It takes a little bit of time when we're working with our A4 pages, and just go and tape them together and take it as part of the process. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. I'm someone that I'll always put an Audible book on when I'm busy with this sort of work, and then I will see you on Saturday when we are going to be cutting out our fabric.